Does anyone have a question?
I'll ask you, Stuart, because during the meditation, I felt energy, I guess, in my lower back, but then I almost felt like, in a sense, it felt fiery, but like pushed forward. Like I felt like I really had to push back against it, not to like be pushed all the way forward. So I was just curious about that. It seems strange to me.
I don't understand what you're actually, I mean, the energy was pushing you forward, so you were pushing it back?
Well, it was pushing me forward. If I would have just,
You mean physically forward?
yeah, like physically,
Well, then to deal with that, look, one of the reasons that happens is that there's too much energy in your head. And that's pulling you forward like that. And if you just bring that energy, as I keep repeating endlessly, into the hara, into the chakra below the navel, your whole system will straighten up. Because then the energy will circulate through the sex to the base of the spine, come up the spine to the top of the head. That kind of falling over forward is because there's too much energy in the forehead. And it's not spiritual energy, it's tension, thinking, all that kind of stuff. And that's the time to correct, you're not pushing back, you just, okay, I got to bring my attention to the very core of my being. That will straighten you up. You'll have balance inside. Your mind isn't going to be, overloaded with energy pushing you forward. And it's amazing. And then, as I said, the energy will move through the sex to the base of the spine, activate Kundalini. And when Kundalini is rising up the spine, you have to be straight. You can't be pushing this way. So it's for you to recognize that. And then through training, you know exactly what to do about it. It's why I have all these classes so people can get the training. And these things consistently happen. Even kriyas, kriyas are just energy unblocking you. You understand? But if once you finally get unblocked, the kriyas begin to stop. So people stop bouncing around, their heads stop swiveling, they released the blocks. So that Shakti that flows through their system is no longer, it's like a pool table, you hit with the ball and suddenly all the, it goes in 50 directions. It's, it's training. The answer is always training. Learning how to master your inner life, learning what to do when these situations arrive, how to recenter yourself to get the balance inside, and how to, create an inner life that begins to eliminate all the blocks and the obstruction. You become a master of your mind. The mind doesn't control you. Now, this is a frightening thing to most people because most people live day and night in their minds. And they say, when you're out of your mind, you're crazy. Well, frankly, when you're in your mind, you're crazy. Understand, when you can bring that attention into the hara, when you can release all that tension in the head, keeps you from going off the deep end.
Now that you said that, I did realize sometime afterward, I felt energy like gushing down. So thank you. That was very helpful.
You're welcome, Wendy. I'm here to help. That's my job. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I've been doing this a long time. All of these things I've seen. And many of them I've had myself. And I had to learn through this inner work how to master them. And then I can relay the secrets of the craft and how to use the craft so it's fully beneficial inside you instead of, you know, being kind of a half-assed attempt at having a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
What does it mean to be fully human?
Look, the answer is very simple, Rachel. To be happy. To be able to keep your heart open all the time. To live with love, to live with compassion. I mean, happiness, you know, I've said this for years. Happiness, once you become a happy person, there's really not much else you have to learn on this planet. You know, look, of course, some university professor would argue with me to the gills that I'm wrong, but, you know, and I said the other day, when I was a kid, when I was in my late teens and 20s, I used to read, philosophy coming out the kazoo. Everything from Aristotle to Plato to all these philosophers, you know. And what shocked me, really shocked me, is that just about every single one of them arrived at the conclusion that the highest state of humanity is to be a happy person. I mean, you know, Aristotle was written 50 tomes, you know, ultimately to come to the conclusion that happiness is the highest state of what it means to be a human being. Same thing with Plato, you know, all of them. Spinoza, you know, maybe some of the existential guys, you know, Kierkegaard and these other guys, you know, I mean, happiness was very far from the things they wrote. But most of them, they arrived at that conclusion. So what does it mean to be fully human? To live with love, to live with joy in your heart, with happiness inside you, to not allow all the inconveniences of life to steal your energy away from you, and to be able to stay quiet and centered and balanced in yourself, no matter what the hell is going on in this world. And there's always going to be madness going on in this world, always. In my lifetime anyway, I can't remember one day when the world hasn't been crazy. There haven't been famines and, you know, now pandemics and, you know, the stuff that goes on in the world is, you know, so the work is not to allow all that stuff to drain your energy and to build a system inside where you can keep your heart open and to use whatever takes place in the world as an opportunity to grow. These classes that I'm teaching on Zoom that are touching people all over the world are a byproduct of the pandemic we're going through now. If it wasn't for, you know, COVID-19, I wouldn't be teaching these classes. I needed to find a way to continue my spiritual development and to touch people, you know, and have classes that people can attend. And suddenly somebody mentioned Zoom. I never heard of Zoom. I had no idea what it was. So what I'm saying is no matter what is going on in the world, you know, the work of every single human being is to keep their heart open. Most people don't know how to do it. This meditation teaches a way to do it, to sustain that, to open it, to, you know, and to attain, you know, what's probably the highest state of what it means to be human, just to be a happy person. I always say happy people are enlightened people. You know, it's really not more complicated than that. People make it more complicated, but it really isn't. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? I mean, look, on every church, mosque, synagogue, every temple, Hindu, Buddha, it's God is love. I mean, they all have arrived at the same conclusion. God is love. And how can we love if we don't have joy in our hearts and happiness inside us? Patience, forgiveness. Does anyone else have a question? And the incredible thing, just to finish this up, is that it's possible to do what I'm talking about. This is not something that's impossible. You know, we have all the tools. We have everything that can make it possible. We have to learn how to use the tools. We have to learn how to master our inner selves. And that's exactly what this meditation is about, really. It's not about me being a teacher and a guru and people worshiping me. But it's all bullshit, you know? Lineages and stuff, you know, yeah, of course I have a lineage and it's a great lineage, Rudy and Nityananda, where Nityananda, I don't even know where Nityananda emanated from. I mean, I think he was just some avatar that was born on the earth. That's my lineage, but that is not the answer. The answer is for each and every person to use what they're learning to build a system inside that can enable them to live here with their hearts open. And it's not just focusing on the heart, that's not going to work. You got to build the entire chakra system. Because if you're focused on the heart and there's nothing in the hara below the navel, your whole system is going to be off balance. So the whole chakra system has to really open inside. And I must say, I do have an extraordinary lineage. I mean, Nityananda was, he was a great, great saint. And I've been to his, in Ganesh Puri many, many times and sat with him, although, it was wasn't his physical body, but his energy was there. And his energy transformed me every time I was there. And Rudy, God bless him, without him, I wouldn't be here today. There's no way I'd even be alive today if it wasn't for Rudy. And he used to talk about his teachers the same way, exact same way. I mean, he had a great teacher, the Shankaracharya of Puri, and it's such a wonderful story how he became a disciple of this wonderful old man who was a wonderful teacher. He and a big group of people met him at the airport. And everybody, oh, Baba, 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 and everybody, Baba, Baba. And Rudy took one look at him and he went up to the Shankaracharya Puri and said, Baba, do you have to relieve yourself? And the Shankaracharya looked at him and said, yes. He said, you really understand me. And Rudy took him to the bathroom and he went and relieved himself. And when he came out, he wanted Rudy to come live with him at his house to learn what he had to teach. I mean, that's how these miracles happen. It's amazing, being sensitive enough to know what exactly is going on in the moment. And he always said, out of gratitude to what he said, also the same thing I say, he would not be alive if it wasn't for these people that trained him, that taught him. And I say the same thing. And it's simply out of gratitude, really, that I do this. It's my service to God. It's my service to my teachers. It's my service to the people that made it possible for me to be alive today. doing this, serving God, serving a higher force in the universe. That's really become the central focus of my life now, Used to be the art business and, writing books and all that stuff I used to do, Done it. I've been there, I've done it. And now whatever remains of this life of mine is in service of higher energy in the universe. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I hope this is clear. I try to keep it as simple as I possibly can. I don't like to talk in, Sanskrit language and all that stuff. I try to use basic street language, in order to, connect with the people that attend the classes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there will be a meditation tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. And again, God bless you all and thank you. What you drag out of me, I tell you, is just a miracle. And I'm so grateful that every one of you are here, dragging these things that come out of me that I even listen to because, I need to learn also how to continue to grow. So God bless you all and thank you. And there'll be a class tomorrow evening and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
you.
Good night.